I am Tony Bellew and you are watching Toffee TV.
Welcome back to Toffee TV. We're continuing our talk about the new investment takeover by Farhad Mashiri, or as we like to call him, Mr. FM, because it just saves a lot of hassle. Baz is still stroking his pillow. We spoke about...
They're not pillows, remember?
Yeah, planes, trains and automobiles. We've talked about the man himself. We've talked about Bill Kenwright's involvement in the deal, being in the club. Obviously, one of the first things that we want to get sorted out, something that has hampered the club for
years,
20 odd years, is a stadium. It's something that has got to be, you know, front and centre, I think, of the new takeover, because obviously Goodison Park will not be fit for you. Hasn't safety certificate run out by now? Has it?
She's believed everything you heard about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember someone telling me that the safety certificate was running out. But is it all? I'm just saying.
It's all right now. Just spitballing.
I'm just saying. So obviously the stadium is the first thing we've got to look at. So how would you like to see it addressed, Baz?
Woodison. I want it to be redeveloped. Personally, yeah. I'd love us to stay where we are. It's our home. I'm not sure I'm that comfortable with moving, but if it's done correctly, you know, if it the only...
I've seen your seat sitting anywhere else would be very comfortable.
Yeah, all right, but well, that is true. I suppose the only kind of negative side to Goodison being redeveloped is the time scale. Yeah. We'd have to do it piece by piece by piece. So therefore, obviously, the kind of, for the quickness of the solution.
Can't you just build things off site now and just bring them in? That's the Nardi built all the day.
Well, just
bolt them all together.
City build it behind.
DIY SOS could have it done in a week.
Ty Pennington, mate, from America, would have that sorted in a week. But so obviously it's a time scale, isn't it? We haven't really got the land to be able to build behind and then pull down and all that. So it probably lend to a new stadium, and then if that's the case, a new stadium, obviously Everton would own the footprint and everything that went on it, but we'd have to identify a site that we all, you know, we're all pleased with, and then get on with, put our fair spade in the ground and all that, as they say. But personally, if it was a toss-up and it could be done quickly, I would rather remain at Goodison.
Well, our heart and soul's Goodison Park, isn't it, really? So for me, I'd rather stay at Goodison if we could do it. It's just logistically, there's so many different issues there, really, and I think to try and put a 55, 60-seater stadium on that footprint that we currently got, thousands, yeah. You know, we're going to have to try. We're going to have to try and change things around quite a bit, really. It's just logistically going to be an absolute nightmare. I can't see us being able to redevelop Goodison really in its entirety unless we play somewhere else for a couple of years.
Architects have proved they can be done.
Yeah,
the architects have been proven, but it's what you want, isn't it? Do you want a stadium that you can get the people in and out of quickly? Do you want a stadium that has all the stuff around it? You know, do you want a showpiece? I mean, because what we've been offered in the last few years are basically like Ivy Lane kind of crap stuff. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It is though, isn't it? It's like they are like B models, aren't they? They're like, you've got no money, you take what you're given.
You want a stadium that's going to last for the next 100 years or so. You don't want to have some, you know, macro sort of Lego type stadium. You want something that's going to absolutely attract players and actually, you know, make a statement of what the club's all about, really. So I think you can do Goodison. It will take a long time, and it'll take us time to get it the way we want it to be. And there's two routes really to do that. One is do it piece by piece, which is not ideal. The other one is just to do it in its entirety, like what's happening at Tottenham, and what's happening at Chelsea. They're going to have to move away for a couple of seasons, and that then throws up so many different questions and horrible scenarios that a lot of us don't want to think about, really. Yeah. So the other alternative is finding the right site in Liverpool for us to actually build a stadium that's capable of meeting our expectations.
Let's be honest as well. Everton, I think, want to move. Yeah, that's the reality. Commercially and everything else, but the club would like to move.
But isn't that though? Isn't that the old thinking though? Isn't that what we're looking forward to?
Yeah, but we've often said, we've sat here when we've had this discussion about how we could have actually had a new stadium now if we'd have just used some of the money each year to build a stand, you know, over a period of time. But I think if you're sitting at Everton now and you think commercially, you want it done quickly, you want the fruits of that labour as quick as you can get it, and they could have a new stadium up within 2 years quite easily.
But haven't the perimeters completely changed now? Because what we've been used to for the last 10 years or so with Kirby and Walton Park is land given to us through a third party, and essentially other people trying to build something for us so they could get gain out of it. Aren't we now looking at a completely different model now, where it's like it's all about us? We don't need a third party. You know, the city council offered us Walton Park and said, well, somehow you've got to build on that. Well, aren't we now thinking, well, there's other sites in the cities? I'm sure there's ABC sites, A being costing a fortune, B costing less than C being, yeah, lad, have that, you know, there's a bit of waste ground for you, do what you can with that. Aren't we hopefully now looking at the A sites and thinking there's prime locations like Edge Lane, like waterfront properties, that now we should be thinking, now that would be an amazing place to build a stadium and actually make a statement like the original Kingsdock Stadium would have been.
Definitely, like Paddy said, we don't want a Meccano fit, do we? No. One of those, you know. But I think what we will bring to the table now, we've never had that disposable income, have we, to be able to go to, because we're still we're not gonna be able to afford a £400 million stadium on our own, regardless of how rich this fella is, because it isn't done like that now. Everyone comes in and you get partnerships. Liverpool are the same with theirs. It's piece by piece with other companies. It's not just Liverpool. So, but when you can actually go, well, there's ours, you balls are out, there's our money, where's yours? Then them companies go, yeah, well, there's ours then.
Well, that's it. We've never had that in the last 20 years, have we? We've been asking other companies to put all that money in with just our brand.
Exactly.
To sort of add on top
which
of it.
Isn't strong. So it's about making.
And the other thing we've had to do, and I don't know anything about this, and it'll be really interesting what's happening with this, is things like the loans on the ground that have stopped, things like the Everton developments in the car park with the big thing that got stopped because Everton didn't own the land. Is he gonna sort all that out? Is he gonna buy that all back? Is that gonna mean that Goodison does? Is that one of the reasons why we weren't looking at Goodison? Because before we even spent any money, we'd have to get all those loans back in house. I know some of them have gone back in house, but Everton, as everyone keeps telling us, is a very complicated beast. There's different things. I mean,
yeah, but those different things generally are tied to money. And
no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like listen,
to the hilt.
Paddy was at the Man City games and he got his refund, and you got the cheque from
Goodison Park Limited.
Goodison Park Limited. Now,
yeah.
So you've got Goodison Park Limited, you've got Everton Limited, you've got all these.
There will be, because in them kind of situations you use what you can, don't you? Yeah. You have your different companies. Everyone does it in different ways, don't they? People will do it. You know, Everton, I don't want to use that phrase, you like robbing Peter to pay Paul, but that is how they were run. That is how they were run, and to be fair, they were run okay in terms of on the team performance, not off the team. Obviously the assets have gone, and think we know about that, but in terms of what they were delivering on the pitch, it wasn't too bad considering we were you know, people love to tell you about the wage bill and we're punching above our weight and we've got all the knife to a gunfight bollocks and all of that crap going on. Now we'll have someone who's actually got that income, like you say, to sit down with someone and go, we've got money, and you know, I have got rid of that, but I still think they'll want to move to a new stadium.
It's not just the stadium though as well. We've sold, as you said, we've sold so many assets over the years. We've got a fantastic opportunity to get things back in to the club now. So Finch Farm, for example, owned by the council. I think this is an immediate opportunity as soon as this deal's ratified and everything's done. If we can get that back within the next few months, massive statements of intent that shows that we're trying to, like, you know, get back what we've lost over the last 10-15 years or so. That'd be such an easy, quick win for us.
Yeah, and I think with something like Finch Farm, I mean, Martinez has talked in the past about like having sleep pods and like having like a hotel for the team and things like that. You know, Finch Farm's a brilliant facility, but I'm sure
it's massive.
They could make it bigger. They could make it bigger and better, and do things with that. That would help the team. And obviously, you've got to own it. You know, there's been talk of, like, you know, like I've just been saying, that Everton developments on the car park where they wanted to have a bigger shop because Kitbag weren't happy with the size of the shop, and it was too small. You need a bigger shop. On a match day, if you ever go in there on a match day, sometimes just queues out the door because there's not enough people going there safely. I mean, that before you start, that's ridiculous. Or things like, you know, in the short term, getting things like a cafe built up at Goodison Park. So, you know, I know, but so many times, I'm saying short term, things like, so many times people go to me, do you know if, like I've come over from America, do you know if they're doing tours today, and you're like, I don't know, mate, it might be a case of having to knock on the door. That's a joke.
No, but
those things need to be sorted out.
If they got a new stadium with all of that land, you bounce on a massive shop, you bounce the cafe in with it as well, you make yourself more available for the things like tours. Everything's branded, everything's done.
I think that's why Peter Johnson,
what
who kicked all this off in 1997, that's why he wanted to move it, because there's so many obstacles at Goodison. And the other one we've not talked about, like there's houses around there as well you're probably going to need to buy. It took Liverpool 25 years to be able to do what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So, you know, is anyone going to wait 25 years to actually buy the land around Goodison for us to do it, or do we bite the bullet now and actually build something that's going to...
I don't mind moving as long as it is a showpiece venue where you can just go, oh my god, that's amazing. Everyone looks at the King's Dock pictures and goes, imagine if that had been us on the waterfront, you know, iconic pictures of Liverpool as a city.
Monster truck.
Oh, we could have monster trucks, mate. We could have had monster trucks. You could have had fans coming in on the Mersey from you know, stupid things like that.
Boating in.
Yeah, just on like a ferry terminal, just like getting off it, staying on the ale into town afterwards. You know, all these little things. Now, if we could find a way, if there's other places, Liverpool at the moment is expanding outwards. You know, the city centre's not big enough. It's, you know, you go down to the Titanic Hotel, there's all that dock space down there. So maybe we can capitalise on that by building on that way. So as far as I'm concerned, all I want is, if we're going to move, we've got to move to somewhere that is just fucking boss, basically. And like you were talking about before, it's almost like that Spurs model. You've got money in the background, but it doesn't have to be necessarily thrown at a stadium. You get different people involved. Maybe a stadium rights, name rights. You get the building companies. They all have a bit of it, and that's how you build it. And that's how you build a really good stadium. And hopefully, we can build like a 55 upwards to a 60 if needed. We can build on it. Then that's the way I'd look at it anyway going forward. And yeah, basically, there you go.
Yeah,
we've got options now, haven't we?
Oh.
We've got means to do it.
That's the
fat wedge. Right, tell us what you think. Do you want to stay at Goodison? Would you move away from Goodison? What can we do? Can Goodison kind of be redeveloped, or should we look for a new shiny stadium somewhere else in the city, somewhere a prime location? Tell us what you think in the comments, on Twitter, on Facebook, all those places. Don't forget to watch all these videos. We'll be talking about the future and what it holds for us as a team and as a club next. So make sure to skip to the next video.